We are back on Morning Line. It's our final segment. Glad to have with us this morning my friend Buford Tune. He and I go way back, and it's good to have him on. He's always available and willing to talk these issues out with us. Thank you. Again, someone called earlier. It's the Academy of Personal Protection and Security. Your office, you've moved a few times over the years.
Correct.
And you're in this new location at 1161 Murfreesboro Pike. You do training, as you said, with the last individual about how to get permits, security training, things like that. How many years have you been doing this?
Oh, gosh. Since about 93.
Wow. And that before that, you were in law enforcement.
Correct.
But you made a career of it, my friend.
Well, it's been a long one.
You've trained a lot of people. All right, we have some more phone calls. Let's go to Sheila next. Sheila, good morning. Hi, Sheila.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
My question is, I had taken a gun safety class and got my papers to go get my permit, but I never did, and that was in March. And I think at the time they said it was a 6-month waiting, you know, like after 6 months I couldn't get it and I'd have to go back through the class. Is that still the same law? Because I had heard from someone else that those laws had changed and that I could still take my paperwork and get my permit to still carry.
They have changed, and from the last thing I was told, it's up to a year now. So you're still good to go.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Good for you. Thank you for your call, Sheila. And yeah, it used to be 6 months, and then you'd have to go do it again, but she has a year then maybe. Good. All right, let's go to Rick. Rick, good morning. Hi, Rick.
Hey.
Hey, go ahead, sir.
Yes, I was just calling in about the various laws.
Mm-hmm.
How come this is supposed to be the United States of America? How come we have so many different laws in each state? That's not unity, that's division.
Well, we have the Second Amendment, which ensures your right to bear arms, but then individual states, they cannot ban your right to have guns because the Constitution requires it. However, there are gray areas, and they can put some, and you know, that's not the only place this happens. States pass laws all the time that are unique to them, that, you know, come under the Constitution but have different angles.
That's absolutely right. I mean, if when you cross state lines, speed limits change.
Yeah.
So each state has that right through their own constitution of that state to make laws that way.
But there's no state that bans your right to own a gun.
Not, well, if you take California and New York out of there.
Well, I mean, they can make it more difficult, but there's no state that says it's illegal for you to own a gun in our state because the Constitution ensures it. But in California and New York, they may have passed what? What do you mean by that?
Well, they make it so hard. We had a guy, expensive. It's like I had to go to Maryland to testify in a case up there where we do a lot of expert witness testimony. And I was talking to a police officer, and up there a background check to buy a gun, even for law enforcement, is $80 per gun.
Wow, and what is it like?
Here's $10.
$10. Okay, see, so they can price you out of it.
Exactly. So they make their own laws to try to push you out. It's like New Jersey. I mean, I heard that there was a law up there, even with pellet guns, the serial numbers had to be registered.
Interesting.
So each state is completely different. We were hired at one time to go to New Jersey to do a course up there for some of the district schools on just non-lethal weapons. I turned it down because the way that they were talking to me, they're going, you know, you're a retired cop, so you can't bring a gun. I said, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing non-lethal baton spray stuff. Well, they kept arguing with me, well, you're an ex-cop, we know you're going to bring a gun. I'm going, if you're telling me I'm not going to bring one or can't bring one, then I'm not going to bring one. Well, we know you are. I'm going, never mind, forget it.
You don't need to go through that.
Exactly.
Keep in mind, too, that when states pass these individual things, that's based on what lawmakers are passing the laws, based on what their constituents are telling them. So the constituents in California apparently want tougher laws on guns, or they wouldn't elect lawmakers that do that. You may say, wow, that's crazy. Here in Tennessee, none of those lawmakers would be elected. Probably right. Meanwhile, none of the lawmakers here are going to be elected in California. It's different according to what state you're in.
Exactly.
That's how it comes down.
One thing that was brought up even by one of your people here this morning was that I don't want nothing to do with guns, okay? It's not about whether you want anything to do with the guns or not, but the example I give was, what is if someone comes into the location that you're at and shooting the place up, and you're able to get to that gun to save your life and your family's life, would you know how to pick it up and use it?
Right. Well, that's the whole thing. Of course, we all would want something to defend ourselves. I just want to make sure, whether it's me, you, or someone else, that once they pick up that gun, they're not accidentally shooting the wrong person. And but yeah, I mean, come on, who wouldn't?
Well, just like driving a car.
Yeah.
You got to know how to start it before you drive it.
Absolutely. So get proper training.
Exactly.
I mean, that's where you should go. Let's go to Ralph. Hi, Ralph.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
There are tests that is given on these gun permits, like their mental or their social skills. I understand a lot of paperwork on firing range, but what about their mental capacity, you know?
Yeah, okay, and we only have 3 minutes, so you take that there. People are bringing it up. How do we keep the guns out of the hands of folks, maybe that don't have necessarily criminal records, but have a screw loose up here? And again, how are you going to know?
Exactly. I mean, it's like we said earlier. What's keeping this person from flipping and going completely off the deep end just in the next second?
Yeah.
We don't know what's in the heart of the mind of this person. We've had 3 students in the last 20-something years that have gone off the deep end, and you don't know.
Well, you talk about the one with the Antioch shooting,
Exactly.
and the bottom line on that is my belief, and as you know, I've gotten hold of a lot of his phone calls and the calls he's made. He sounds pretty darn lucid on a lot of them.
Yes.
My sense listening to him is he's the kind of guy that can sound great in the way he did with you and perform, but if put under the proper stresses,
exactly.
snaps.
Exactly.
And we'd heard that prior he had some suicidal things where cops had to respond. His family was worried about him. But when he dealt with you,
he was just,
and I believe you, because I've heard the phone calls, and I've heard him talk in detail with his girlfriend and others. Very lucid, articulate fella. But I just get the sense with him, he's just a little out there. And if the proper stressors, the buttons are pushed.
Exactly. And we don't know what's in the head of the people that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
When the person comes in, you know, we don't ask them why you want to carry a gun.
Right.
If somebody walks up and says, oh, well, I'm tired of my brother-in-law and I'm going to get this gun so I can legally walk over to his yard. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
You know, you're out of here.
They're not going to tell you. That's the thing.
We've had some that kind of
that up front, and you realize not going to do it.
And of course, myself, I don't have a better problem with reporting stuff like that.
Well, that's why you do everything by the book, because the bottom line is when these shootings happen, the first thing they're going to do is trace back that gun, the training or whatever. And if it turns out you sold a gun to someone illegally and he goes and commits mass murder, you're in big trouble. Or you train someone when he's told you and knows that he's going to do something bad, you're going to be in trouble. So that's why you do it by the book.
Anytime you have somebody who says, I was trained to do this, okay, it doesn't matter who did the training. If Nick comes to me and goes through the training, okay, Nick goes out and does something stupid and crazy, and there's a lawsuit, I'm going to be called in. My background, my knowledge, my skills, and everything, everything's going to be put there. So this is the reason people have got to pick the right people.
Buford, you're one of them.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, my friend, for coming on. We'll talk to you again soon, all right?
Thank you.
Be back with a programming note about tomorrow right after this. Thanks again, Buford.